Hey y'all, this is JR, one half of the R&B representative. Shout out to my sister Naturally Elise, and this is the 29th episode of JR's Motown Life. Now, the song that I will be discussing on this episode is Rick James, Super Freak. She's a super freak, super freak. She's super freaking. Doo 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 doo. Jam, of course. This song was released on July the 10th, 1981. It was number 3 on the R&B charts, and it was number 16 on the pop charts. This song was written by Rick James and Alonzo Miller, and it was produced by Rick James. Now, this was the second single off the Classic Street Songs album, and it was some funny stuff that went into making this song. So y'all know I'm here to give y'all all the behind the scenes action about it, and I'm ready to do it in a super kind of way. So catch what I just did there. Alrighty, so let's get this started. So Rick James right now is in his 5th album right now. And so the albums that came before then was the Come Get It. You had the Busting Out of L7. You had Fire It Up, and you had Garden of Love. Now, Garden of Love was really ballad based. So now he's in the mentality now, like, yo, I want to make an album where I can have people groove and, get back to that. And he wanted this album really to be a statement album for him. So he locked himself up in the studio, just took his instruments with him, and was like, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to make this album be, you know, really a big, big one for me. And I wanted to connect to people, to the hoods, to, talk about love and passion and all that. You know what I mean? So he wanted it to also get back into that, the old Motown days when everybody just worked with everybody. So on this album, he worked with all his Motown people. He worked with, obviously, the duet with Tina Marie. Stevie Wonder played harmonica on it. He got the Temptations to sing on a couple of songs just to give that Motown feeling back. You know what I'm saying? Because back then they used to do that back in the 60s. Like if Marvin Gaye was singing on the record and the Martha Reeves and Vandellas was right there, they would sing back up. If you had, Marvin again and had Gladys and the Pips singing background, they just did that. So he wanted that feeling back for real. So the album was completed, the album was done, but he needed one more song. So he was like, you know what? I'm gonna write the song. He wrote Super Freak quick, and he wrote it being funny, like he wanted the song to be silly, and he was like, I wanted white people to dance. You know what I mean? So that's how he made it so fast, and it was done quick. You know what I'm saying? Just the operatic things that he was doing in the song because he loved opera, so he was doing the little operatic things he was doing in the record. So it was funny, a really silly song if you really listen to it. And then bringing the Temptations in, everything was improv. Like he would just say, "Do this," and sing behind me with this, and that's why he came in with Temptation sing. Whoa. So it was done. So the song was done. He really was like, it was whatever. It was the quickest song that he ever wrote. You know what I mean? So he was like, let's put it on the album. Album was done. Everybody, was listening to it. And Alonzo Miller, that's how he was actually a programmer for California. He was a programmer for California radio. And he knew this song was gonna be a hit. He was like, this is a hit, but he was like, it's not radio friendly. And the line goes, once you get her between the sheets, he was like, you need to change that so once you get her off the streets, so it can be radio friendly. You know what I'm saying? So it was smart, and especially it goes in with the street songs. Get her off the streets. There you go. It works. You know what I mean? So they released it. The song was a hit, and it was the biggest hit off the album. You know what I mean? So around this time, Rick James was, before then he was trying to get Motown to pay for, videos to be made for him. But Motown wasn't about that life. They were very single based at this time. They didn't feel like making no videos. But finally the songs being big, he actually pushed them to make a video. So, in this time, MTV was not playing black videos at all. So finally, he had somebody in his team that was like, they scheduled a meeting with Billboard and MTV and all of that, and they let Rick know, like, go in there and say this, and we can get them, and you probably can be the first black to be played. So they went into the meeting. Rick James was following the script at first, and then he just went and said, you guys are not playing black artists. It's very racial and all this kind of stuff. And MTV decided not to play it at all. And Rick James was really going to be the first black artist to be played with Super Freak, but he didn't because of how the meeting went. And then come to find out, that wasn't the only reason. It was this woman, this black executive that was on the board. Her name is Carolyn Baker. And she saw the video and she did not like it because the women were naked and she didn't appreciate it. So she went against it. So the meeting, and you had a black executive that went against you. So in reality, Rick James could have been the first one black artist to be played on MTV, but it ended up being Michael, and that's just how that went. But yo, the song is popular, one of his most popular songs, you know what I mean? Because there's so many people that sampled it. The biggest one we know is MC Hammer with You Can't Touch This. Jay-Z did it for Kingdom Come. Tina Marie actually did it again for her song It Must Be Magic at the Temptations sing, and then they did the same thing. And then Nicki Minaj did it for Sexy Freaky Girl, if that's the song. But it's been sampled over 40 times. It's been covered over 25 times. But this is Rick James' record. You know what I mean? And this is such a dope joint. He had the white people, the black people, had everybody dancing. You know what I mean? So this is a great song. And I think when people talk about Motown, sometimes they miss out on Rick, and he deserves to be respected. So I want to talk about him, and hopefully y'all got all the facts and y'all enjoyed this episode of JR's Motown Life. Peace.